Me Time and Murder is intended for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Oh, well, big surprise.
What's up?
You need tea?
Oh, will you make me some tea, baby? Thank you. Spiced apple.
Oh,
Thank you.
nice.
Oh.
Very autumnal.
Autumnal?
It is.
It's summer, though.
I know, it's very Halloween. Spiced apple.
It is. Yeah, they always have it in Marks and Spencer's, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. What are you drinking, Therese?
Today I am drinking a Pucka 3 ginger.
Nice.
It is nice. What about you? What are you drinking, Mariam?
Jaren is making me a Marks and Spencer's spiced apple.
Oh, you're super fancy. You've got a waiter. Where's my waiter?
Whoopah.
Very nice.
You wish you had a waiter?
Yeah, where's my waiter?
I'll send him over to you.
Will you? Yes. What time do you think he'll be here? Tea boy.
Chop, tea boy.
Tea boy. He doesn't mind.
Jaren loves being tea boy.
Yeah.
What about your me time?
I am just doing a L'Oreal Dream Lengths hair mask.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that Dream Lengths range. It's really good. What about you? What are you doing?
Oh, hello. Oh, thank you.
You're on your boobies.
I'm massaging my boobs with
Why?
coconut oil.
You are
Jaren's
not
watching me. I am. Because I've got sunburn still.
Well, I was not expecting that.
You're the pervert watching me.
Your waiter is
I'm
watching
in the same
you.
room as you. Have some manners.
Did you get burnt
Some
again?
restraint, like in the... Or else I'm going to charge you $3,000.
You're going to charge me $3,000 over watching the circle.
You're enticing me to touch them. Not the circle, the...
Oh, too hot to handle. No, this is like $500.
To look?
He's well into it now.
You need to pay to look now? It's not worth it.
Not worth it?
That was the wrong answer, Jaren.
Looks nice.
Wrong answer. Where's my tea boy? Thank you. Yes, I got burnt again. I
Oh,
think it's like my chest didn't burn, it just went tan. But like the soft part of my boobies, that, you know, the soft part that never sees the sun.
yeah.
Like where there's like little stretch marks and stuff, they're very soft.
We all got them.
But like we all have them. But like it got really burnt. Like really burnt. Like
May I ask
it's-
why they were exposed?
well, I was just wearing a really deep V cut bikini.
Gotcha.
But like usually I wear like a bandana, bandura, bandeau bikini.
Oh, yeah.
Like this the strip, but this time I was wearing one strap, so it was a V cut. So it
Oh.
like that part of my chest,
But
like my
you-
tits, never
you
see
know-
the sun.
So you don't put sun cream on your body then?
I did have some on, not a lot.
Okay, I would
But
factor
also when you're
50
in and out
that
of the
shit.
whenever you're in and out of the water, it just like it runs off, and I don't know. As
You
well,
don't have
sometimes when you
boots
sweat.
over there? No.
No.
Okay, Boots have come out with a new sun cream that lasts for 8 hours. It's really cool.
Wow.
I know, I'm very excited to use it, but the weather doesn't really need it over here.
Don't need
so
it.
I just really want to go somewhere to test out this sun cream. I'm like so
Oh.
excited. 8
You're really
hours?
just blocking your vitamin D. You're just gonna be like all like vitamin D deficient.
Probably. I'm actually taking supplements for it at the minute.
For vitamin D?
Yeah,
Why?
it's another bit of me time. Just because we don't get it.
You just don't, yeah. And then like with quarantine, you don't really go. Well, with COVID, you don't really go outside much.
You
either.
don't. And it's not like
So you don't see much sun.
I was seeing much sun before either.
Yeah.
But
I'm telling you, I think like the sun, it really does make you feel better.
it lifts your mood, yeah.
It really does. Like, because we had a really cold winter, and now that the winter, it's not even a winter, it's just fucking cold. There's like no snow or anything, but it's just really cold. And then after that, like, and the sun, it's just like, I just have so much more energy. I'm happier. My endorphins are higher.
Yeah, I
want to like
noticed
go
when
outside
I took
and
the
walk.
vitamin D, my mood
Uh-huh.
improved.
Yeah,
It definitely did. When I took it consistently.
yeah.
Obviously, it's not a substitute for the real thing, but
Let's move to Spain.
let's do it and live off tapas. Is that not like the dream?
The dream. That's not enough food for me. I need more.
I know, but you just
Buffet
keep
all the
ordering
way.
it.
Just keep
Just keep it
ordering more
coming.
tapas.
Like Zara and I used to do. You just keep ordering.
What was I going to say? Okay, should we just start? I still don't have my tea. Can you hear it boiling?
This is unacceptable.
Jaren. Tea boy. You filled the kettle up to the very, very top.
Oh, what is that? What is that?
What about those people who think that when you fill the kettle up to the top, it boils faster? What is that all about?
Do people think that?
Yeah.
You can blame me.
It's obviously slower.
I remember, do you remember, oh, I'll bleep this out, Kim at work.
Oh, yeah.
She was convinced that, like, no, Maria, you have to fill it up to the top. And I was like,
It's
no,
It's like a conspiracy theorist. It's like...
Yes.
Because the steam inside.
It's like an old wives' tale. Like, that is... How, scientifically, how could that be
You have air
correct?
inside it as well.
Oh, Sharon's saying that also if there's steam inside, it'll help.
Same logic, so it's heating itself.
Yeah, but there's just less volume, so it's less time.
Oh.
Is that your washing machine's done?
No, that's the kettle. It's very loud and
The
demanding.
kettle beeps?
Yeah.
That
And
is
then, like, sometimes
bizarre.
if it falls below, like, a certain temperature, like, if you just let it boil and then you don't use it,
Uh-huh.
and then if it falls below, like, 70, it beeps again to, like, let
No
you
way.
know
To
that the
remind
water's-
you, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's pretty funky. Yeah, so there, I've got my tea
The
now.
other thing about boiling the kettle is then you feel like you have to use all that water. So for your next cup of tea,
Mm.
you like boil the
Mhm.
kettle again. But like tea, it's like you shouldn't reboil the water because that kills off the oxygen, and apparently that affects the tea. I learnt that.
This is a tea podcast.
So I only ever put in enough for like 1 or 2 cups.
I don't know,
That's what
some
I
people
do
are really
now.
stupid. Some people really do think that you fill it up to the top.
Ain't
Because
nobody got time for that.
I remember Kim was just like, no, because that's the way a kettle works best.
That's no. Boiling water's boiling water. I don't want. How can it be best?
It's like you're not using it properly unless it's full, like you're breaking it or
That is
something.
so bonkers to me.
Okay, so should we just start? Enough of
Let's do
tea.
this.
Bitching about poor
It's not helping the environment.
Yeah, fuck off. Okay.
Okay, harsh.
Okay, so today we are going to talk about the Hound of Hounslow. Hounslow.
Where is Hounslow?
Well, it's not in Ireland, and it's not in England. Oh wait, it is in England.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So, Hound of Hounslow, what does that make you think of?
Well, a dog, a hound,
Uh-huh.
but I'm assuming it's a person.
Yes.
But why would they call him a hound? Because he hounded people?
It's sort of like referencing another famous person or a famous movie.
Movie. It's not like Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, like the Hound of Baskerville? No.
Not like the Headless Huntsman, no.
The Hound is a dog.
Yes.
It's another dog.
Scooby-Doo. A dog. Give me another hint. Give me another clue.
You want another clue?
Yeah, please.
Oh. Let's see. It's so hard without giving it away.
Is it a famous movie?
Very famous. Got Oscars.
What?
Yeah.
About a dog?
No, it's not about a dog.
Oh,
It's about a guy.
oh.
It's about a man who made a lot of money.
It's not enough.
It's in America.
But he's an Englishman.
No, the movie's in America. Set in America. I don't know where we're going with
I
this.
don't know either. We could be here for another hour. Let's never do... What's that game together? Pictionary?
We're good at movies. Okay, I'll tell you who's in it. Leonardo DiCaprio. Hound of Hounslow. Think, what movie
It's
is he in? It
hardly
sounds like-
Gatsby.
Hound of Hounslow is referencing
Wolf
a
of Wall
movie.
Street.
Yes. So they've called this guy the Hound of Hounslow.
Okay, it doesn't have the same ring to it as Wolf of Wall Street, guys, but okay. Okay.
Good try.
Hound is just such like an old school word.
It is, right?
Yeah. That's why I was thinking oldie worldy, you see. I was trying to think of
Mm.
movies like old, set in olden days. Okay.
He's called the Hound of Hounslow. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, this is where it makes things tricky because I haven't actually seen Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, for God's
I
sake!
feel like you should have made me do some homework before we said before we recorded this.
You know Henry Zabowski is in it
Henry Zabowski.
from last podcast.
Oh my god, I did not know
He's
that.
in
I
it.
want to watch it immediately. Oh my god. I feel like, because I've seen little snippets of it, so I might have seen him in it. I've just seen snippets. Like, Dan's obsessed with it. Like, he's always watching little snippets of it.
It's a total man movie.
Well,
yeah.
like, you see, I tried to watch it one time. I just wasn't in the mood. It was like he was doing cocaine on top of a sex worker, and I was like, what am I watching? And this is the main character, and I'm supposed to get on board with this. And I didn't like seeing Leo being that type of a person. I was like, not you, Leo, no.
You know, he is probably closer to that than any other one of his movies.
Even. Don't you dare. I love him. I don't know. I just wasn't in the mood for it. And I think it's a long movie, so I was like, oh, I can't sit through this.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's nearly 3 hours long.
Yeah, I was like, if it's going to be like this the whole way through, I was like, not today.
I do think it's like unnecessarily long because there is a lot of partying in it.
See, that's
like,
what I'm not up for. I don't want to see some rich white guy denigrate women. I was just like, no thanks. Pass. Don't need to see this. Obviously, shit goes down, and I hope he gets his comeuppance, like, in the end and whatnot. I'm sure he does, but I just couldn't wait around for it. I was like, I'll give it another go some other day. So I'm expecting that this fella is going to rip a load of people off.
Oh.
And be super sneaky.
Oh.
Do you think, is he trading as well? Is this guy trading?
Yes. So we're in that world,
Yeah.
like stock market world, yeah.
Oh, so many doors.
That was a big bang. Navinder Sarao was just an ordinary working class guy. People who knew him described him as having a bit of a gob on him. He was quick-witted, but temperamental. In school he had a gift for multiplication and arithmetic, as well as being fast-thinking. He's smart.
Yes.
Right.
Got some smarts.
Like too many boys, Nav was well into computer games, and he dedicated a lot of time and a lot of focus on games like Halo and FIFA.
Halo, I can understand a little bit. FIFA, do not understand that.
Yeah, Jaren plays it like every Friday. He plays it with his friends.
Stop it.
Yeah?
I wish you hadn't told me that.
Why?
I used to respect Jaren. I just don't. It's obviously because I just don't really get the whole football hype. It's just, I don't like games where it's the same thing over and over. You know, I want to be getting on to that next level, fighting a different boss, or, you know, like different scenery, different narrative. You're kicking.
Also, like a lot of the video games have like a end, like a goal.
Yeah, whereas football just goes on and on forever. Up and down the pitch, up and down, up and down.
But apparently this new FIFA, the players are based off the real life players.
I know, so they get all into it, all the fantasy teams and...
Yeah.
I wish I was into it because it's bloody everywhere and it's so massive, like, over here, but I just can't get into it.
What FIFA playing? No,
I'm just football in general. In the UK, it is a big...
It's almost like a religion.
It's like a commonality that, like, everyone can talk about, but me. I'm just like, Man United, yay. That's, I've actually been to see Man United. It was okay. They lost.
Oh.
Raging. Yeah, it was alright. It's a good atmosphere, I guess, when you're there. But I hadn't a clue what was going on. Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to this guy, Nav. Oh gosh, so we're still on the Halo and FIFA thing. He was able to sit for hours and hours at a time, and he would like focus and practice one task on these games over and over and over again until he had it perfected.
Wow. Psycho.
So
it's a little bit.
After graduating from university, he's in his early to mid-20s, he applies for a job advertised in the Evening Standard newspaper, and it read, "Wanted future traders, must work well under pressure."
Okay.
So, do you think this is a good firm or not?
It's not a great ad.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but he didn't pick up on that, I guess, even though he's smart. I don't know.
I'm guessing because of his background, he probably didn't have like a golden handshake with like Merrill Lynch or JP Morgan, like a lot of people do. Like they leave university.
Gotcha.
And they're just like their dad or like their brother-in-law.
They're
just
all
like, you know,
rubbing shoulders, as they say. Is that what they say?
Is
Did
it
I
rubbing
make that up?
elbows? Rubbing shoulders?
This is a new COVID thing, rubbing elbows. Maybe it is rubbing elbows. I think you might be right. No, rubbing shoulders. Rubbing elbows?
Rubbing shoulders?
I always do this and then I never Google the thing. It's like Google's right in front of me. What do we like? Do we like rubbing elbows? I like rubbing elbows, but I don't think that's what it is.
Scratching backs. Anyway, so this was not like a big fancy trading firm. It was like, this was a startup almost. It was in its infancy. It was this shabby office, and I'm pretty sure it was like above a carpet store.
That's when you turn on your heels and you walk away.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's just like, you know, a very working class.
He wants to get his foot in the door.
Yeah, but get the experience any way possible, sort of thing. So, and it's 45 minutes outside of London. Like, it's not even like near the big market players. It's not anywhere near
like the hub where all that.
Yeah,
you would
like
think would be going on. They can only afford the rent outside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, they're not going to the same bars as these people and whining and dining and you know, like swapping stories and CVs
elbows.
and rubbing shoulders. So, although it was not connected with the big stock market players, it was still on the world's commodities exchange. Like, it was still plugged into everything else. It just wasn't glitzy glamours. So after a few years at this Futex firm, Navinder had become this like mysterious lone wolf or lone hound, as he went on to be called. He couldn't stand the loud excitement like atmosphere in the office. Like, people talking about what they were purchasing and bidding and trading and selling and
Do you
stuff
ever
like this
see
here.
it in those movies where it's like complete like mania?
Yeah, it's just like chaos.
I've never understood how they get work done like that. And then I always think, okay, this is television. Is this hyped up? Or is it based on some kind of...
you watch the news and it's like that.
It's madness.
Wolf of Wall Street is like that.
Yeah. I tell you, I could not work like that.
No.
I'm a bit of a Navinder myself. I'm going to regret saying that now. But anyway.
No. I agree. You can see why they always end up doing coke and stuff. Like,
because it's just, you have to be so on and so like alert to like, how do you focus amongst that chaos?
So he couldn't stand that atmosphere. So he grabs a desk, like he gets his own desk and is completely isolated from everyone else. Mm-hmm. And this is in like 2002, 3, something like early 2000s. And so he like buys himself a pair of noise cancellation headphones. And they did not exist back then.
It was like hard to get. Sorry, what year are we in?
We're like early 2000s.
Okay. The noughties.
So he ended up buying ear defenders, what construction road workers use to like break concrete. You know those big earmuff things?
Wow. I'm so down for that. I would love one of those.
Yeah, so he buys
Maybe then I could sleep through your man downstairs.
So he buys these so he doesn't have to listen to everybody talking.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah, I mean, like he's focused. And this is just like, you know, when he was playing Halo and FIFA, like, you know, he just wants 100% concentration.
Yeah.
He wants to like be perfect at it and he doesn't want distraction.
Yeah.
But like all of the guys in the office, they're just like, oh my God, this guy, he's like killing it on the stock market.
Wow.
Like he just places big trades and it pays off and he's pulling in so much money. Like,
wow.
So he was trading on this financial platform which tracks the S&P 500, which is, I believe, an average of the top 500 US stock market companies.
Okay.
So because he is constantly rating the S&P 500, Navinder is like able to develop like a sixth sense, an ability to determine and predict and feel whether the market is about to go up or down.
Ooh.
All based on the orders that are entering and like leaving the market,
Mm-hmm.
he's like Neo, he's like one with the S&P 500.
Wow.
And everybody's like obsessed with him at work. They can't believe how amazing he is. A few years later, in 2008, and we know what happened. Yeah, we know what happened in 2008. He is in his late 20s, and he has saved, over the past few years, working at this little shitty firm, he has made $2 million USD to himself.
Wow.
Just over the past few years, just doing stocks and trading. And, you know, obviously he does it, it's a hedge fund type place and he does it for other people, but he's like doing it for himself as well. He's invested too.
Yeah.
So he decides to leave his job during the 2008 financial crash. Like, we remember the 2008 crash, it was crazy. Like, the financial systems were in danger and, like, institutions were, like, closing and being, like, absorbed into other, like, institutions and banks and stuff. But do you remember how the institutions and banks were able to keep going?
Ooh, I don't.
You don't remember?
I don't remember.
All the banks, what happened? What happened?
Well, I know it was to do with the mortgages, was a big part. But I can't remember how we recovered. Is it just inflation? Is that just what happens after a crash?
The government bailed them out.
Right.
So, yeah, the governments around the world used taxpayer money to step in and save the financial institutions.
Yeah.
And the thing is that...
Well, we're still paying it back here in Ireland. Like...
From 2008, yeah.
The taxes coming out of my paycheck are redonkulous. And I'm like, hey, I wasn't even here when it happened. I wasn't part of this. I didn't live here and I'm bloody helping you fix your shit.
You don't even get free healthcare.
And you won't even give me a free eye test. Can't see where I'm walking in your city. Anyway. Bumping into things. Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started. God love the NHS.
So Nav could see this coming. He had already speculated that the market was just too low and the government is going to have to intervene. So in 2008, he takes all of his money from Futex, the 2 million, and he places it all, betting that the prices will rise again. So he places this big trade on the Friday, right? Okay. Friday, he's like, it's going to happen. Then on Monday, President George W. Bush announces that the government are going to put up $700 billion in taxpayer money to purchase these troubled assets.
Wow.
To help private corporations.
I know. Cray.
Boom. As soon as Bush makes this statement, the US prices increase by 19%. Nav goes from a position of 2 million USD to suddenly being worth 15 million
Holy
USD.
Crap.
Yeah, in a weekend.
So he's just come into a lot of money. Has he told people in his life about this?
Yeah, no, he has not.
Oh, okay.
So Navinder is like super, super down to earth and very working class values, and one of the most endearing things about him is that he doesn't really spend money. He doesn't spend hardly any of the money that he made. He didn't buy a car.
Even with the 15 or with the 2?
Even with the 15. He just saved it. Yes.
That's savings to the extreme. Wow.
I know, you gotta live a little bit.
Wow. Get a new set of headphones. Upgrade, live a little.
He also decided he didn't want to tell his friends and family because that he was a millionaire, because he didn't want to look like a show off.
Okay. He sounds like a nice person. I thought you were going to say because he didn't want to share.
He didn't want to share. He didn't want to look like a show off, because everybody in his life was super working class.
Yeah.
But then maybe probably knew people on the dole.
Then, though. But I feel like he wants to reinvest it. He wants to play with it.
He's not done.
Yeah, probably.
And apparently he said he didn't want to be treated any differently. He didn't want, people be nicer and fake to him, or to be asking him for money.
Yeah, once you tell people you've got money, it does change things, yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
And then you also become, if he's in, a poor area,
yeah,
you become, a target for getting mugged.
That's why I never told anyone. I'm joking.
You wish you were a millionaire.
I could just pretend to be a secret millionaire. How would you know?
Don't tell anyone I'm a millionaire.
Don't tell. Just don't tell.
He just let his millions grow and grow on the trading platform and like saving some of it. And he continued to play football once a week.
He could bloody buy a football team. Okay, maybe not. I think they cost a lot of money, don't they?
I think so.
He could buy a player. Is that a thing? No, I don't know.
You can buy a human dress. What are you talking about?
No, I think that teams buy players, don't they? You have to be a captain of a team, a coach, an owner of a team.
So yeah, he's like super normal guy. He's like in his mid-20s now. His favourite at McDonald's is the filet-o-fish.
Shut up. Why do I need to know that? And also, that's like one of the cheapest as well. You can get them for like €1.
It's like £1 or something.
Like £1.
Yeah.
I've never had one.
I've had one.
Have you? What's it like?
I work with this guy. Every now and again, he'll come into work and he'll have like 4 filet-o-fish.
Oh,
you remember that episode in the office where they're cleaning out Michael's car and they're like, how many filet-o-fish did you eat?
That's right.
So I was like, right, I gotta try it. I gotta try this filet-o-fish. He likes it. Michael Scott likes
doesn't he? Michael Scott just say, I was particularly hungry.
It's actually pretty good. You know what it's like? It's like
fish finger sandwich.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
Oh, it's actually pretty good. Yeah.
I don't know why it's always freaked me out.
I know, it's because fish in McDonald's, it's so strange.
Yeah, it's a bit, yeah.
And it's the only fish thing that they have.
Yeah, it's just always like being stuck in a corner on its own and you're like, what? Mm-hmm. Let's give it a go.
Give it a go. Although I do wish it was with ketchup instead of mayonnaise.
Because that's the way we used to have the fish finger sandwich.
I know, I used to love fish finger sandwiches.
Did other people eat fish finger sandwiches?
I think.
Was it just us?
I don't know.
I haven't thought about them in years.
I'm just trying to highlight how like working class he is.
Yeah,
like,
super down to earth.
Super down to earth. He's not even going to Witherspoons. He's still going to McDonald's and he's got 15 million.
And he's not even getting the fancy burger of the month. He's getting the standard menu.
Yeah. And he still lives with his parents.
Oh,
like,
stop.
Yeah.
Free rent. Not that he needs it, but I hope he's paying them something.
Oh, fuck.
He could pay off their mortgage. He could flipping... Yeah, I feel like he needs to do something for his pet. He needs to buy them a new house. Come on.
Yeah, it's painful. This story's painful, Trez.
Oh, no.
Okay, so everything's going
I
well.
hope he doesn't lose it all.
So...
he just needs to stop.
So everything is going well in Navinder's life, but a fly is added to the ointment.
Oh, no. Can we not just end now?
End on the...
He could, like, buy a McDonald's, or he could, like...
Filet-o-fish highlight.
Yeah.
A McDonald's that only serves filet-o-fish.
Yeah. He needs to, like, settle down now.
Nope. So all was going fine until these new traders entered the market, and these are called high-frequency trading robots.
I've heard of that, but I don't know why I've heard of that.
That's strange that you've heard of it.
Well, you see, I have watched... What is that movie with, like... It's got absolutely everybody in the movie.
The Big Short.
The Big Short, and it's about the crash. Yeah, I've watched that.
Yeah.
I don't think I fully understood everything, but I picked up on some things.
So, what are high-frequency trading robots? Do you think you know what they are?
No. No.
So, basically, these robots are like software that's installed on the computer. They've been programmed to execute trades like a human, but at a much higher speed and frequency, at a level humans will never achieve. So it's basically like milliseconds trading, like so fast. What they do is, if the market is going up and you want to buy a stock, say Trez wants to buy a stock in Apple, the bot will buy it first. And then, just before you, they will sell it back to you at a small proportion higher. So the bot will make a very small profit. But the bot will do this like thousands of times in a second.
Wow.
So obviously the bigger and more financially backed corporations can afford to use these machines and to run these machines and computers. Navinder is working and trading and selling from his bedroom in his parents' house. Like, he doesn't have these machines. So I would love to say that Nav was outraged at the inequality and unethicalness of these bots, but really he was like frustrated that these bots were interfering with his profits. Like, he was still making money, but because these bots had been introduced, he was making less money.
Yeah.
In 2009, Nav decides that he is going to make his own robot.
Oh my god, I should have seen this coming. Oh my god.
Yes.
Does it also make filet-o-fish? Can do everything.
So, he is going to hit back at the high-frequency traders. So what he does is he buys a commercially available piece of software and then he like modifies it. He like cracks it. And after a few months of trial and error, Nav was, from his bedroom, essentially manipulating the market.
Wow.
Which is illegal. Nav is easily making $500,000 a day.
Okay.
On one day, he made 400,000 USD.
What?
The very next day, he made 800,000 USD.
What?
Yeah. Meanwhile, he's doing this all in the bedroom of his parents' house that is worth 300,000 USD.
Oh,
insane money.
Wow. And his parents haven't a clue.
And they don't even know. There's like
is Joseph doing this in the back of our parents' house?
Oh, that'd be great. Let's break in and see.
All this time I've been trading. It's definitely not going to happen.
That's not happening. So May 6th, 2010 is an extremely volatile day. The market shows a FOMO fear index, which is where the market is going up. And everybody's like, oh my God, like, look at Dow Jones. It's killing it. Like, I want to buy. So when there is a FOMO, it like shoots way up. But usually then it will normalize and fall right back down. So that morning, the market spiked up by 30%, which is usually followed by a sharp fall. So for Navinder, he knew that this was time. At 9:30 in the morning, Navinder starts to use his machines and starts pumping in lots of orders into this falling market. So what he's doing is he is artificially keeping the market high. So he didn't let it fall.
Yeah.
And the robots don't understand. He's basically tricking the high frequency robots into keeping it high by like upping the price.
Yeah, they're going to still keep buying it if it's high. Yeah.
So by the afternoon, he's placed $200 million worth of orders.
Wow.
$200 million he's playing with.
That's crazy.
That's like companies.
It's massive.
From his bedroom. But see, these orders are really more like, I promise to buy. Like they are setting up, like sort of like a reserve. Like I'm going to buy this order sort of thing. Like I promise to buy it, keep it for me. But then what Navinder was doing is cancelling these orders. But that stock has been artificially inflated.
Yeah.
So at 1:40 p.m, that's in America, and then at 7 p.m. in London, Nav decides to just switch off his computer. He turns it off. He made $950,000 in just a few hours.
Wow.
Then at 1:41 in America, 1 minute later, the market crashes at a velocity never before recorded or since, which comes to be known as the flash crash. The flash crash wiped out $1 trillion off the value of American companies in 5 minutes. And then it bounced right back. Whenever he turned off his computer, all of those orders were cancelled.
Yeah.
Jeez. And it just like crashed. If you go on YouTube, you can see how fast the Dow Jones platform, just crashed. It just went straight down over 5 minutes. And then it like went back up to like a normal route. And they're like, what the fuck was that? $1 trillion is gone by this little guy in Hounslow. Over the next couple of months, the American authorities thoroughly examined what happened that day. Like, what the fuck happened? It crashed so fast and so far, trying to get to the bottom of it. A few months later, a report was produced discussing what happened. Not once did this substantial, like 100-page report mention market manipulation, nor was Navinder mentioned. He was like...
Yeah, like, I've never heard of this guy.
He was in the BBC News.
Okay.
Unaware that the US was actually investigating anything, Nav was just like going about his like normal life and continuing to like use his machine and continuing to rake in profits. So Navinder is continuing to order and cancel lots and lots and lots of orders. And people in America at the exchange that he is trading on, they notice.
Okay.
What? Yeah, you can't keep this up for long.
Yeah.
And at one point, while ordering and cancelling orders, he gets an email from the exchange asking him to explain what he's at.
Mm-hmm.
And he replies to this exchange person, "Kiss my ass." But Nav's fall would be actually from his own kind. Not from the authorities, not from the exchange, not from like a computer. It was another trader just like Nav.
Oh.
A trader who was working in a small firm in Chicago was testing his own software on the exchange, and he noticed these big blocks of orders entering and leaving the market. And he was just like, "Hey, like, I know what you're doing. I can see what you're doing." He blows the whistle. An underdog is taken down by another underdog.
Yeah. I was thinking
Like-
that there's got to be more out there like him.
Oh yeah. Eventually, the information arrives at It arrives at the authorities. When they broke everything down, they found that on the day of the flash crash, Nav would replace these orders together, modify those orders several, sometimes thousands of times, and then cancel them and not getting hit with the money. So US prosecutors argue that Navinder Sarao was engaged in illegal trading. This is known as spoofing the market.
Mm-hmm.
So next up for poor Nav is the Department of Justice. In February 2015, an arrest warrant for Nav is signed. A short while later, one morning, half a dozen police officers, 2 prosecutors from the US Justice Department, and 2 agents from the FBI
Oh, wow.
are having a meeting at Nav's McDonald's,
Oh, my God.
where he buys his filet-o-fish.
Oh, my God.
It is a mile from Nav's house, and they discuss the best method for arresting this criminal mastermind. So, at the crack of dawn, they knock on Nav's parents' house door. Nav is upstairs in his childhood bedroom. So,
His
So-
poor parents. They're going to
I
have the
know they have-
shock of their
yeah.
life.
yeah. Oh, God.
Awful.
So the dad answers the door and calls Nav down. The dad is confused as fuck, and the neighbours are watching from behind their curtains,
Oh,
hearing
no.
out what's going on, who are these people, what has Nav done, and cuffs are slapped on Nav.
Oh, God.
But he turns to the officers and he says, "Dude, I need to run upstairs. There is a football match on that I want to record."
Are you being serious?
That's what he says. And
Is
the
this
officer
guy-
says, "What?"
Is Nav on the spectrum in any way?
Yes, he is.
Okay,
That comes-
because it's like he's not fully grasping what
The
you know.
severity.
It's like
Yeah.
he's got his own priorities. That it just struck me as somebody. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's so.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah,
The
so like later
football.
he gets diagnosed.
Yeah, because I mean his brain is so brilliant.
Yes.
It does make you think that could be, yeah, that's the answer. But I mean, the police would be so taken aback by that, though, wouldn't they? Like they would just.
They think that they're like going to like track down this criminal mastermind, and it's just this like late 20s kid who's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, the fuck,
I
what's on
also got
here?"
the sense earlier when you said like he didn't like interacting with people and he like put his headphones on. I also got the sense that either he was like an
Yeah.
introvert or he was
Mhm.
somewhere on the spectrum in that he didn't really like human interactions. It just didn't do
Yeah.
it for him, you know?
Just
Yeah.
didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So the officer says to him, I don't think you're going to be home to watch that for a while, son.
Oh, no.
Poor Nav.
Oh, no.
And this was true. Nav spent the next 4 months in jail.
Wow. Just like waiting for a trial?
Yeah. So in the trading community, like the solo traders and stuff like that, Nav was a hit. In particular, people liked him, like small day traders. They were like, oh, he's like fucking Robin Hood, like...
That's a great story, yeah.
Isn't it? Going up against these big firms with all their money and rubbing their shoulders and elbows.
Was it a game to him? Was this just another game?
Yes. That comes in the trial. I didn't really include it too much, but in the trial they were saying that for him it wasn't really about the money.
Yeah, because he's not doing anything with it. He wasn't greedy. He didn't need, didn't...
Yeah, he wasn't greedy. He didn't spend it. He wasn't buying...
It wasn't materialistic. Yeah.
It was like the game. It was like Halo and FIFA and he was good at maths. He was good at algebra and stuff, arithmetic. Like, it was perfect for him. It was a computer game with numbers that he could predict and he could manipulate.
And get a buzz whenever he wins. It's a bit like gambling, a slot machine. It's like, oh, that worked. And, it's just giving him a buzz.
Yeah, it's a game.
Yeah.
So the media ate this story up. It was on American TV. It was on British TV. Not that I remember seeing it.
I can't remember. Yeah, I don't.
And they're talking about how if he's found innocent, he's going to be like a superstar trader. And they're just like saying like this guy could change everything. But the prosecutors, they like threw the book at him. We have 22 criminal counts against you.
Wow. And
you could be going to prison in America for 380 years.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bit much.
Yeah, I wasn't actually expecting that.
I mean, nobody fucking died. It was like Apple lost some money.
Boo-hoo.
And the US authorities froze all of his assets, which I don't understand. They can control the money of a British person, like, not in America.
Yeah.
In England, Navinder is like, what the fuck? And he like loses his temper in the court, and he stood up at the dock and like started screaming at the courtroom, like, how did this happen? I am being punished for being good at my job.
Oh.
So the judge in the UK was like, he set bail at £5 million.
Which he could afford.
Easy.
Takes it out of his pocket.
There you go. But he failed to post the bail.
What do you mean?
So, Nav's lawyers are running around trying to find money. Where does his money go? Where did his money go? Nav has invested it with various different advisors over the past few years.
Okay.
And suddenly, these advisors just stopped answering his calls.
Okay. Were these legitimate?
Slowly but surely it became painfully clear that the money that Nav had set aside, all the hard work, the profits that he's made over the years, is gone.
Ah, stop. How can you be so brilliant but then also so naive?
That is exactly what other people were saying. They were like, when it came to just people, he was very naive.
Yeah. Oh, it's so sad, isn't it? He just doesn't have that skill set to know when someone's pulling the wool over his eyes. Yeah.
Essentially, Nav was a phenomenal reader of the stock, but not of people.
Of people, yeah. Oh, it's so sad.
Anyone that promised Nav a good rate of return or risk-free returns, investments, he was like, sure, I'll put it in there.
No.
These investors just said, oh, I lost it all. Sure, you don't even know if they did or not. Probably could be lying.
What? Oh, God, okay.
I know. So, in the end, the judge had to lower his bail because they were like, look, he doesn't actually have this money. And his parents have to put up the value of their house.
Stop it.
I know.
No.
And he gets let out. So, the US judge decides that he should be extradited to the US to stand trial. Nav's lawyer, who actually used to work as a prosecutor at the Department of Justice, instead he flies to Washington and he speaks to the prosecutors.
Mm-hmm.
He says that it wasn't really Nav that caused this flash crash. It was another big order which was also purchased on the same day.
Oh.
Navinder's lawyer, he says that this alleged flash crash happened because there was another giant sell order placed by a giant hedge fund on the same day at around the same time. And this was a conclusion previously reached by the US regulator. But it seems like you don't want to finger your friends, but rather this little brown kid in England.
Mm-hmm. Scapegoat.
And his lawyer also argues that under extradition agreements with the US, the accused can only be extradited from England if what they are accused of is a crime under English law. And there is no crime of spoofing in England.
No way.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
So the lawyer, Nav's lawyer, he says, yeah, sure, you could go to trial, but there is a risk that you could lose. Navinder is a very vulnerable guy. He's just been diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome.
Uh-huh.
And, the jury may feel sorry for him. I mean, like, he's an underdog who went up against computers.
Oh, yeah.
So the US authorities, they make a deal. And the deal is that Nav has to plead guilty to causing the flash crash, which is, like, ridiculous because there was another firm that was also doing the same as him. So Nav agrees, yes, fine, I'll plead guilty. Like, he did technically spoof the market and he wasn't meant to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time it comes to sentencing, the US, they've changed their mind on him because he turns out to be helpful. And this is when it goes Wolf of Wall Street, DiCaprio, to Catch Me If You Can, DiCaprio.
I love it.
Yeah, so he ends up working with the US authorities and showing them holes and loopholes and
wow.
how. Yeah.
This guy's so cool.
I don't think he still works for them. I think it was like
a one-off to get him off.
Also, they were like you said, Nav is not greedy.
Yeah, it wasn't malicious, even though, yeah, it wasn't right. Like, I knew that from the start. I was like, this isn't, but...
Plus, he's lost all of his money.
Oh, God.
So the US is like, okay, he's had enough punishment,
Mm-hmm.
He has lost money. His family have lost money.
God, yeah.
It's just been like, just what a bad turnout. But he's been helpful to them, so they let him off with time served.
Okay.
So the judge, in the end, he sentences Nav to a year of house arrest.
Okay.
Some people mentioned that, dude, this is where he caused the flash crash.
I was just going to say, don't think that would bother him too much.
I know.
He's happy enough in his room.
Yeah. This is where he invented a computer to, like, play with the robots.
Yeah.
Like, wow. And just like before, Nav is with his impeccable timing in 2008 and 2010. When it started house arrest, just as England started to go into quarantine lockdown.
Wait a minute.
At the pandemic, he gets sentenced.
That's how long it took?
Mm-hmm. He got sentenced in March 2020. He has to do house arrest. And then there was
and then
bam,
it was the quarantine.
Lockdown.
That's hilarious. It's just weird because he did it in 2010. It took over 10 years.
Yes, it took forever.
That's mad. What's he at now? Do we know? Can we find out?
So according to the documentary I watched, today he is penniless.
I hate that word. What an old-timey word. Penniless.
But in another article I read, it stated that in 2010, he set up a company in the Caribbean.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, he set up a company in the island of Nevis.
Okay.
It was in the movie The Laundromat.
Don't think I've seen that.
It's basically a way of laundering money through like these little Caribbean islands.
I was thinking that, yeah.
Yeah. So he sets up a company in the Caribbean, and it's called Navinder Sarao Milking Markets Limited.
Stop.
And it is assumed that the company has nothing to do with dairy.
I think you just thought it was a cool name.
Milking the markets.
Maybe that's a term, is it? Milking the markets?
Yeah. Like you're
I know,
milking
but that
them for
does,
money.
just because it's a turn of phrase doesn't mean it makes a good business name. Doesn't really work that way.
I don't think he's starting an Instagram page, Trez. I think he's just like...
He just needed to name it.
This was his plan. This was his plan, was to milk...
I know, but he's putting his plan in his name. It's very on the nose.
Very on the nose. I like to think that he does have money saved. I do like to think
I know
he
you
has
would like
money
to think,
saved.
yeah.
But I don't know, so...
Wow. So this documentary, was it BBC?
I watched a Bloomberg documentary and then I read like 2 articles on the BBC.
Okay.
And that is the Hound of Hounslow.
Wow.
Very different to most cases that we do.
Very different. Let's end it.
Bye-bye.
Slán all you guys. See you in the next one.
Me Time and Murder would like to thank and acknowledge our sources that make this podcast possible. References can be found on our Instagram page.